Steve, quick reflection on Tuesday night. Your side showed that they can dig in when they have to.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I repeat my words and I've watched it back now, I think the first 20 minutes we were very good, very comfortable in front, good position to be in. I think for the next 65 minutes we put the balaclavas on and we went home with the points, don't we? We nicked them a bit, and credit to the Donny lads. They produced probably their best performance. I think many people down below were saying afterwards, including Scoey and the management team, they felt it was the best. So, but from our point of view, there'll be games like that. Hopefully, there's more of them where we showed a real defensive stability, a real defensive block, and come home with 3 points that we needed.
Just been talking about it. Is that something that comes with the position you're in now? You're going to be coming up against sides who have just maybe got that little bit more in them to go and prove a point.
Yeah, listen, I think if you're anywhere else in the league, you want to measure yourselves against the top teams, aren't you? And I'm not saying the league table will finish where we're one of the top teams, but we're there at present. Obviously, Leyton Orient look the standout performers, and you've got the big hitters that are all on the scene, aren't you? You've got Swindon on the scene, Bradford on the scene, Mansfield on the scene, Northampton on the scene. Stockport's now produced a couple of great wins. They're coming on the scene. It's and there's no secret with the type of investment that they've got in the team, then they're going to be on the scene at the business end. But we've just got to try and stay in there every week we can.
And there is a bit of a cushion developing as well, isn't there? There is a from outside the playoff areas to where you are.
Yeah, I think there is, but it can quickly change. Certainly League Two demonstrated that last year. You had Forest Green, who look a bit like a Leyton Orient, ready to run away, and everyone else fighting and battling below them. But you know, every time we can add a point or three, it takes us nearer where we need to be. We know what our objective was for the first 10 games. We achieved it. We know what our objection is for the middle of the 10-game run that we're in now. And these 10-game blocks will be clearly measured. They'll be clearly, the boys will know what we need to achieve. And, Colchester presents us with another opportunity to add to that points tally.
I know it's, when you look back at it, it's on the back of 2 games without a win, that can easily turn into a run, can't it? And just as much as winning's a habit, so can losing.
Yeah, I think we measure ourselves. I don't think I think the Northampton game in the middle, I think that could have gone either way. I think myself and John Brady had a long chat on Monday evening, and John said it to me that you could have won 3-2, we could have won 3-2, could have been 5-5 probably. But from that point of view, I think John will probably think his team gave everything like I did. As managers, we both go away thinking we could have both played better. We could have certainly done much more at Gillingham and much more at Doncaster. So we have to get back to where we think our performances dictate our own results, our own future. And that's a challenge to the boys, because there'll always be periods in the season, doesn't matter who wins promotion. Forest Green last year had 2 or 3 periods in the season where it didn't look they were a good side, but they were battling and they would nick a draw, they'd nick a win, and they come out the run. And it led to them being champions and for me, the best team in League Two last year.
Up against Colchester side Saturday, and they've got their own battles.
Yeah, and they've changed a lot of their DNA, haven't they? They've got young Matty in. I didn't like him as a player. He was good against me, and he's a good player. I think he's a good choice. I can speak to Gareth Ainsworth a couple of weeks ago when Matty was getting the job, and Gareth's a big advocate of him, but I said right away, looks an inspired choice by Robbie Cowley, the Colchester chairman. Some of his other choices in recent times I wasn't so sure about, just from a distance. But when I seen Matty going, I thought Robbie's got his buzz back here. He's and what the style and the identity that they will have will change a little bit. But the one thing that Colchester had from 2 summers ago, when I tried to sign half the squad at Gillingham, and what they've had this season is they've got good players. And good players, like we said prior to going to Doncaster, good players give you a chance to win in matches. And they can't do any more and not win a game than what they did against Crawley in midweek. They have a 2-2, but in reality it could have been 5-1, 5-2 to Colchester. So we're going to a difficult place where it's difficult to go and play, but a great place. Supporters that get behind the team, great venue to go to, great stadium. So it's a tough challenge for us.
Big pitch as well, different to the Lamex for sure.
Yeah, it is. It's big, it's wide, it's expensive. It's kind of say an out of town type of stadium where they've got more land than they probably need to do it. And the one thing I don't profess to know Robbie Cowling well, other than being in his presence of a few boardrooms, is that if he's going to do something, he's better our chairman, Robbie Cowling. He's going to do something, he does it right. So everything about the stadium at Colchester is very nice. A big pitch. Hopefully, if it's the same in previous seasons, I've not been this season, but it'll be a carpet. It'll be beautiful to play on. Or otherwise, you wouldn't sign half the Ipswich Town side who were playing the Championship if you weren't going to play like that. So it's a big pitch, and it'll present us problems at times, I'm sure.
And how's your squad?
Yeah, we're in good shape. We've got no problems from from the other night, other than a 5-hour journey back from Doncaster. Thank you to the highways. Thank you to the highways of the A1 for sending us down farm tracks and through farms and everywhere to get home. But I'm sure the other clubs, as we all travelled on Tuesday night, had those problems as well. But we're in good shape. The boys are rested yesterday, back in today, and we prepare for a tough trip.
And you'll be back on the bench. How did it go on Tuesday?
Yeah, it's a credit and complete humbleness to the staff behind the scenes at Doncaster Rovers. I've said it many times about the clubs in Yorkshire. I was very privileged to manage two of them, in the great Leeds United and the unbelievable Rotherham United. I'm very humble, but Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United, Barnsley, Doncaster Rovers. I think you can go as far as Hull. I think it's still called that Yorkshire. Humble people. Every club you got behind the scenes, and I've always been received there really well, and they were brilliant. Cups of coffee during the game is very appreciated on cold nights, and a few little sweeties, and I've never wanted to say no to a sweetie, as they know. So, and I think our media man, young Alfie, got a sore right ear as I kept chuffing and moaning about different things. But us, has to be said, wasn't it? Wasn't it nice to have a good match referee?
And your coaching team, they did the job for you. How did you manage to get the messages across to them?
Obviously, I was linked up to the mobile, but I don't need to be talking too much to Paul Rayner or Vel. They both know where the standards lie. They both know what the plan was. You have to try and remind them sometimes with your shout, because you can't help yourself. But more importantly, on the mobile. But the boys got the job done.